Hello everybody, Mark here at the launch of the Volvo XC70 in Chengdu, one of the cities where Volvo has 3 factories in China. Well, sorry, not 3 factories in Chengdu. They have 3 factories, one of them is in Chengdu. So yeah, as you can see, we're on the stage. They've just presented the XC70 to us. They've got 7 different colours, and for once, a car brand has actually brought all of those colours to the stage, which is great. Some really lovely ones actually, including a green and a blue. What I'm going to do is give you a quick whip around of one of these cars, or I'm going to have to kind of dodge between them all because there's a lot of people on here on the stage as well. But this is basically Volvo's first long-range plug-in hybrid. So it sits on a very similar system to the EMP system that you'll find in Lynk & Co.'s. So it gets a 1.5 litre engine and then 3 electric motors for a total of 443 kilowatts of power and up to 596 horsepower. They didn't give us any figures on torque, but it does sound fairly meaty with so much power in it. So yeah, you get a 1.5 litre engine under the front, 115 kilowatts I believe that is. They also have a single P1 motor, which is 60 kilowatts, another electric motor, which is about 120 I think, and then another motor on the back, which is about 197. I'll put the details on the screen to make sure that I get those details correct, because I haven't memorized all of them just yet. But basically, they could have gone with the Geely P3 motor. That's a bit too big though and can get pushed into the cabin in the event of an accident. Volvo, of course, prioritise safety, so they've gone with 1 and 2, which are smaller motors, to make sure that they don't get that kind of cabin entry during an accident. But yeah, overall pretty solid drivetrain. Of course, all-wheel drive, which means it's great for places like, I don't know, Scandinavia, where this car will be sold at some point in the future. It will start in China. Volvo doesn't currently have any long-range plug-in hybrids here in China. What I mean by a long-range plug-in hybrid is not the small battery stuff that you get in Europe where you get like 80 kilometers of EV range. In this one, you get up to 260 kilometers of EV range. Now, they're only saying 200 plus, but the reality is they actually tested it with Qatar, one of the Chinese organizations, for testing this stuff, and they got over 260 kilometers of EV on their own. I think it's 278, plus a total range of 1,578 kilometers. So pretty reasonable. Obviously, there are hybrids now with larger batteries that will go more than that, but 1,578 kilometers means you can go a pretty long distance without having to worry too much about running out of fuel or running out of battery. And it means that the car will drive like an EV. So this is a great stepping stone to getting more people into Volvos that will then kind of eventually go onto their electric cars in the future. Obviously, they originally planned to go fully electric by 2030. They've since toned that down. They're going to try and get to 90% EVs and plug-in hybrids by 2030. But this is where they are at the moment, because that's just kind of the reality of the market. As you can see in the back here, we do get a pretty large boot. I'm not sure they gave us any figures on the size of that, but that is a large boot, and as far as I'm concerned, pop under here, you can see you've got your boot lid cover, your tonneau cover in the back there that you can conceal under the floor. 40/60 folding rear seats. Let's dive into the back of one of these cars with no people in, maybe this one. There we go, got a lovely sort of sandy, chocolatey interior on this one. You get Napa leather, Nordico, which is Volvo's their kind of artificial leather, and some other nice equipment and materials in here. Got kind of fabric on these Harman Kardon speakers. You get 23 of those in this car, and you get ambient lighting behind this section here with some lovely hues and stuff. It is plastic down at the bottom, but the top half is really nice. This car was designed here in China, in Volvo's Chinese design studio. So it is kind of really made for this market, but I think it will do really well in international markets too. The back seats here, we've got ourselves an armrest with a pair of cup holders. We've also got heating on the 2 outer seats in the back. You can see the controls for that there, and tri-zone climate control, a pair of USB-C sockets down there, and mounts on the back of the front seats as well for your tablets and things like that. In the front, you might be able to see a 15.4-inch screen there. This guy's presenting a video. There's also a 10.25-inch screen just in there behind the steering wheel, and a 95-inch augmented reality head-up display, plus a really large panoramic roof with an electronic sunblind in there. Got frameless windows here. You will see they are single glazed on the back. They're probably double glazed on the front. Manual door handles to get out, because of course Volvo prioritising the safety there. Comes with a 38.4 kilowatt hour LFP battery. That provides you with that 260 plus kilometers of electric range. Some lovely details in here, a little bit of Volvo logo stuff there in the kind of the Thor's hammer tail lamps. They've also got Thor's hammer lamps at the front as well. Let's see, do we get double glazing on the front? No, we don't. We only get single glazing on both sides, but that glass does look thicker than some of the glass I've seen before. So they're saying that it is pretty refined inside. This lady's doing a video, so I'm going to try and stay out the back there, but interesting bit about that dashboard there, that center console, it actually has cup holders in. It slides forwards and backwards, so you can easily put a big handbag in there instead, or you can kind of put it across, use it as an armrest, get your cup holders in there. You do get a wireless charger over there and a kind of a crystal thing on the dashboard as well. But overall, yeah, this is a pretty neat looking car, this, from Volvo. I think it's the kind of car that they need in China to succeed, because the current range it's getting there slowly with EX30, EX90 might arrive at some point, and of course EM90, the MPV, which is China only at the moment. But yeah, they need something like a long-range plug-in hybrid, because that's the kind of car that's doing really well in China at the moment. So this could do pretty well. It's about 300,000 RMB, the pre-sale price, which means it might actually be slightly less than that when it actually fully comes out. There are two versions of this car. The other one is, I think, 328,000 RMB. So yeah, probably close to 300,000. It's supposed to sit between the XC70 and the XC90. You get this lovely sand colour. Let's take you through the colours. Sand, you get black. There's probably much more fancy names for these. You get kind of an elephant grey. That's a matte grey colour there. We've got a silvery grey hue there. This lovely green, probably Volvo's most interesting colour on a car since the yellow of the 850 T5R. We've got a pretty nice blue as well. This is of course a very Scandinavian colour palette. And then we've also got over here a white one, of course, just to finish off. Let's see what size the wheels are. I'm not entirely certain what size the wheels are. Can't see a number on that one. Let's check on this side instead. They are 21. Wow, I think they're 21-inch wheels. That can't be right, surely. No, it is. It's a 21-inch wheel. Well, there you go. They are big wheels. Didn't expect that. This one's actually got a kind of a slightly darker brown interior. Thought it might be a little bit purpley, but I think it's just the light coming through the front. Let's take a quick look at that kind of engine bay in here. There you go. There's your engine. You got two motors in there as well. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, overall, that's the XC70. Also a bit of active grille down at the bottom. Check out the kind of the moose shape as well here, with the lights down the front there. This kind of head, and then another antler going up on that side. So as well as the Thor's hammer daytime marine lamps, you also get the kind of the moose shape as well, and also the lovely scalloping that you get. Now, one thing I would say about these cars, by the way, the scalloping looks really nice in person. This stuff here, where it really comes alive is actually in Sweden itself. If you drive a car like this somewhere north in Sweden when it gets cold and there's snow and the sky is super crisp and blue, the light, the way that it catches the light is just amazing. So actually that design, you might not realize why it looks so good, but when you go to Sweden, you'll realize it. So there you go. That's it for the launch of the Volvo XC70. The kind of first in probably several plug-in hybrid or long-range plug-in hybrid SUVs. I would say that maybe the XC90 is a good candidate to get a similar drivetrain to this one, or maybe a slightly more powerful version, something like the Lynk & Co 900. So we'll see what happens in the future with that. But yeah, I think this one should do quite well in China. Volvo's reputation for safety is incredibly strong here in China, and it's well deserved as well, because they do test for different kind of accidents. They showed us a video of this car being crashed into a pole directly through the front, and it performed really well in that test. Those are the kind of real world tests that you expect to have crashes in. Volvo kind of go beyond the normal crash tests and do tests that are out of the ordinary, the kind of crashes that people have in real life, not lab created conditions. But yeah, that's it for the launch of the XC70.